That's right.
Does that feel good for everyone? All right, so let's move into some of the footwork.
Can you explain the high shoulders, low chin thing again?
Okay. So ideally, when we get into like a jab or something, you're going to want to be protecting yourself from like a cross or something, or any blow by keeping the shoulder height. So shoulders height, chin low, in a position where you can still move your head freely but you're protected.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so we're going to do 4 different movements with our feet now. Begin in our athletic stance. Biggest cue I want you to remember, whatever direction you're traveling in, the foot closest to that direction moves first. So what does that mean? If I'm moving forward, I step with the front foot first. If I'm moving back, I step with the back foot first. Feel that out a little bit. While you're doing this, keep your hands on guard. Swaying back and forth. Stay athletic, stay loaded in all 3 joints if possible.
Work on keeping your feet a good distance apart. You don't want your feet ever to come up right next to them, right next to each other. And you don't want your feet ever to be too far out. So when you lead with that front foot, you want to bring your back foot just right back into your hips. So you can stay in that position.
Does that feel good for everyone? Any questions? Okay, we're going to progress it now to a pivot on each side. This is going to do a lot of times when we're fighting. Take Seth here. When we're straight on, we're pretty on guard. We're going to try and create movement by stepping at a 45-degree angle to open up punches that can be thrown. Same thing, whichever way you're moving, that foot goes first. If we're in a righty or lefty stance, if we're moving out and to the right or out to the left, out to the right for you guys, we step and close off. Other way, step, close off. So let's try to the left a couple times. Step, close off. You're really going to want to rotate around your hip. Keep the ball of your foot rounded as you feel your body weight shift. So I'll face the mirror if you guys do the mirror.
So you want to keep, so say like I'm fighting you, you want to keep them like I shift this way. So if you pivot like this, so like this, yeah, you don't want to move your front leg and then shift over. So I want to pivot left. I want to keep my shoulder facing across the front of fighting you. I want to keep my shoulder here, so I go quick. And I'm still 15. But don't switch your foot. Be in the front foot. But the thing is, if I want to go left, I want to be in front first. The biggest emphasis is you always kind of like keep the front shoulder on its that way you want to kind of like move your shoulder. Yeah, so you never want to open your body. You always want to make sure that the shoulder is to make sure that you're protected so that they do take the punches off the chest into the vest. That makes sense.
Yeah, you never want to be lean.
Yeah, pivoting can be a little confusing, so just make sure that for me, I
Work
was
rotation.
yeah, work with my front leg and then adjust. I feel like it was like a hole. You better go this way. Right in this way.
What did you say?
I learned that's why here's the
Alright, so we're going to try to apply this. The drill that Davis has come up with so we can all practice alongside each other.
Alright, so we've gotten those down, the pivot, the footwork, moving with that. We're going to partner you guys up based on the questionnaire again. And we're going to be working on closing the distance and then keeping your distance. So we're going to designate one person to have the reach advantage, and then one person's going to have to close the gap. So in fighting, obviously, you're going to go up against people who have longer arms or shorter arms than you. So using strength in the environment that you're in can determine the outcome of the fight. For the person with the reach advantage, they're going to want to be, you guys can demonstrate Taylor and Seth. So the person with the reach advantage, we Seth, and then Taylor's going to have to close the distance. So you're just working on the footwork that we talked about, pivoting around. And Seth is trying to keep his distance from Taylor, and Taylor's trying to get in on Seth.
So the person who doesn't have the reach advantage is going to dictate the footwork. So if they move in, the person with the reach advantage is going to give. If the person who's trying to get in close to the body, a small guy, pivots in, it's got to be mirrored by the guy across from him. Yeah, so we'll call out your partners, find some open space. We're gonna go for two 30-second bouts, and then you guys are gonna flip-flop roles. Okay?
Can you show it one more time?
Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
guys' time out.
Seven. That's really done with it.
Oh, not running into me.
You want to initiate? Yeah, okay. It's gonna be rough. Yeah. We're still learning.
Just working on your feet, keeping your balance under yourself. You don't, what we worked on, don't cross your feet. You don't want them too close. Just lead with the front foot and pivot around. Keep your balance and be self-centered.
Yeah, you have to think about three things. Keep your feet balanced, stay loaded in all three postures, and whatever way you're moving, that foot goes first. Three keys. All right. No, you guys can partner up from someone from your group of 4 from the dynamic warm-up. There should be 4 groups of 4. You split those groups in half. You should have a partner.
It doesn't matter the size right now, just we'll switch off. Alright, spread out, make sure you guys have enough room. Does everyone have a partner? Yes? Yes. Yeah, you guys will shoot each other. It'll be different instead of like offset. It'll be
Lay it on.
So who has the reaches now?
Oh, I do? Ready?
Yeah, take space. Yeah, you should be off somewhere else. So, let's say he steps this way. And then if he steps this way, I'll step like here. Yeah. You always want to make sure that all containers do not rotate. So that you're not. When you rotate, you're going if you move this way, and I do this, when I kind of rotate, you're going to do this. You want to move this. You always want to do If you guys haven't had a chance yet to switch partners, now would be the time to do so. So now Alright, that was a lot of fun. It's honestly so rough, but the first day, we gotta get tackled.
Okay, now we'll get into head movements. I know our demonstration wasn't the best, but what I was trying to do during that demonstration with the pairing drill is also incorporate some head movements. Head movements are essential because they're where your eyes are at, obviously, and so you want to focus on your target. So if my partner right here is Taylor, I'm always going to want to be focusing on Taylor. I'm never going to want to be focusing on his feet or what's behind him or anything like that. I want my mind and my eyes to be focused on Taylor, and have short, little, quick, compact head movements.
Yeah. Is there a specific spot that you want to be looking, like at his chest or at his chin? Or?
Yeah, I would say probably around his sternum and face, because that's where you can see where he's going to be moving, where he might be aiming, and also like where his jab might be coming as well. Back to head movement, you want to make sure that you have short, quick little movements. A big common mistake is you're going to have huge, drastic movements. You don't really want to be a chicken. If you watch a chicken, they sometimes isolate their head around their body. You don't want to be the chicken. You want to have short, little, quick movements. The 4 basic maneuvers we're going to have a little slide to the right, which is just going to be little quick jabs to the right of your head. And then you're going to have a little slide to the left. And then you're going to have a little duck, which is just going to be you just lowering your head a little bit. And then you're going to have a little pull back. So we're going to do a little Simon Says game where I'll go line up in front of the mirror. And I'm going to be calling out a different slide right, slide left, pull back, duck. And I want you guys to just mimic that. So we're just going to stay in a basic stance. And I'm going to say slide right. And so what I'm going to want you guys to do is just do a little slide right. And then we'll switch around from there.
Yeah, so line up on the mirror and hold eye contact with yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to be very
Slide right, slide right.
in the mirrors, it's like your shadow boxing.
Yeah, so sorry, just to reiterate, the 4 movements are going to be slide right, which is just a little quick jab to the right, slide left, which is just another quick jab to the left, pull back, you're just going to basically want to make a double chin, a quick double chin, and then a little duck is just going to be ducking your head down. So remember, just quick little shifts and movements.
Alright, maintain your stance while you're doing this. Same thing that we just learned.
Yeah.
And keep eye contact with the person across from you in the mirror. Your lovely shiny face.
Alright, we'll start out slow and then we'll just increase the speed. Alright, so first one is slide right.
Simon Says.
Okay, yeah, sorry. It is Simon Says, but I'm just going to say, we're not going to be playing like technical rules. So just follow whatever I say. Yeah, just follow whatever I say.
Simon says it inside.
Alright, slide right. Duck. Pull back. Slide left. Slide left. Slide right. Pull back. Duck. Slide right. Slide left. Slide left. Slide left. Slide right. Duck. 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 Pull back. Slide right. Slide left. Pull back. Slide right.
Alright, quick pause. So, getting back to our keys of our stance, we're running through a lot of stuff quickly today so we can rebuild those habits over the coming weeks. But let's not forget that our front shoulders can be pointed at an imaginary sternum of the person across from us. So our hips are loaded, but our shoulders are top. Okay?
And if you're starting to feel comfortable as well, you can start moving your feet a little bit because in fighting you're never just going to be planted. You're going to be wanting to stay on the balls of your feet and moving. But first, try and focus on the head movements, and once you feel like you've got the head movements down, you can.
When we do the duck, is our head just going down like this, or do you want us to like?
It's more, you're just trying to stay pretty still with the rest of your body, and just like a chicken just trying, it's a little duck, but you're still wanting to maintain that eye contact. So in other words, it doesn't have to be huge, it can just be a little bit, because another thing with head movements is you're trying to change the target of your opponent. Because if you keep changing the target, they're not going to have a definite still location where your head is at, because it'll be always moving to your right, left, down, back. So you always want to change it out. So.
You're not ducking like this.
Yeah.
Because that's just a big open target, and then you can't see where the target went.
You would be always keeping your eyes on the target.
Eyes up, you can tuck your chin, don't drop your chin. Okay? Tuck your chin, don't drop your chin.
Let's run through.
One more time in 15 seconds.
Yeah. Alright. We'll go a little faster this time. Slide right. Slide right. Duck. Pull back. Slide right. Slide left. Slide left. Slide left. Pull back. Duck. Duck. Slide right. Slide right. Pull back. Duck. Slide right. Slide left. Pull back. Duck. 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 Alright, so now that we've laid the groundwork for a lot of the small little subtle movements and the foundation and the stance, we're going to get into the fun stuff, which is the punching. But however, we got to lay groundwork for punching as well. So the biggest thing is going to be hand and thumb placement. So the first thing I want you guys to visualize is that you're holding a roll of dimes. Because when you do that, you're going to be building a compact fist so that when you punch, you're going to be delivering a punch, good punch. And the second thing is proper thumb placement. Improper thumb placement can lead to thumb fractures, and you can already lose a fight before you even start if you fracture your thumb. So what you don't want to do, obviously, is put your thumb inside your fist like this. And you also don't want to put your thumb wrapping around your index finger as well. What you want to do is put your thumb perpendicular in front of your second and third knuckle like this, so that your thumb is cushioned and tucked away, so that if you do deliver your blow, it's not going to affect your thumb at all, because you're going to be wanting to deliver your punch with your first two knuckles. So if I can walk around and show you guys. You want to be putting that roll of diamonds in there, and then put that thumb right in front of these two knuckles right here.
And if you feel like your fingers are curling in on themselves and you're wrapping your hand around, you're too tight. Keep that roll of dimes, so there's a little bit of space. You're still tucked and ready to go, but there should be a little gap where if I came up to you, I'd be able to like slide a finger inside the fist if I really tried. Nice.
Any questions? Feels good for everyone? And you'll be able to feel it when you're practicing the punching. Okay, you guys can get on this side now so you can see yourself in the mirror. And we're gonna do a quick drill about rotating while we're punching. So everybody, keep your dominant arm out like this, cup your elbow, and snap your elbow down. Doesn't feel great, does it?
No.
So we're never gonna punch like that. Now have your thumb up. Snap your elbow down. Still doesn't feel great, right? So what we're gonna do when we're punching is rotate. You know where you can do it for? Yeah. That feels much better,
Gonna
right?
bring your thumb, if it's facing up, try to end with it facing down.
Trying to pronate as much as possible, but not too hard, because you want to go in wherever your comfort zone is as well.
Yeah, a lot of boxing aficionados say like, oh, you want to spin the fist when you hit their face to cut them. That's completely false. The entire rotation should come through the entirety of the movement. So it's just a comfortable finish.
You can try it with your other arm as well. The correct rotated one.
Does that all feel good? Any questions? Okay, so practically speaking, now we're getting to hitting people. Your target should always be with the third knuckle on your king finger. A lot of people will try to go for glancing blows. You can get boxer's fractures in these two fingers and metacarpals. So you want to do a really good job of focusing on the inside of your fist. If you want to just look in the mirror at yourself and just direct that fist as if we just did a straight cross, punching straight across like you're giving knuckles, and you rotate inward. Rotate inward.
Everyone feels good with that? Any questions about that? All right, wonderful. So before we get into the actual punching, one last thing is about the body position and balance. So balance is one of the biggest parts of fighting, punching, because if you're off balance, you're just going to lose the fight. So while you're punching, you never want to throw yourself off balance. You always want to keep yourself loaded like a spring, and you want to keep it compact and close. If you're ever extending, you're throwing yourself off balance and you leave yourself open to other strikes. So when you're punching, keep it short, compact. That's about it.
You remember the swimming demonstration they gave us about the skewer being straight through your head? Great visualization, same thing for punching around that skewer and keeping your head on top of your torso.
Another key you can think of too is squashing or putting out the cigarette. You're going to want to rotate. It's especially when you get into crosses, but you're going to want to crush that cigarette and also still rotate around the cigarette.
One thing, while you're throwing punches, obviously they're also going to be punching at you. So the balance is a key. If you're going, you can come straight back and block a punch or block a kick.
So we're going to split up into 4 different corners of the room and walk you guys through the 4 different punches. We're going to go for 2-minute rotations. I'll take Miles' group in this front corner. Seth, you can grab Leah's group. Travis's group can go in the back right corner there.
And then the other group can come over here.
So we're going to go into we're going to do crosses. So again, just on this one, you're going to want to spin. And the thing is, you really don't know how to attack. You're going to use to cross. A lot of states.
but essentially it's power from the uppercut is coming directly from the ground up. You never want to be punching your shoulder with your arm and your body, showing a palm plant. One of the biggest mistakes is people with uppercuts, they go out, you're jabbing, coming out there with an uppercut. An uppercut should never leave in front of your foot. It should be right here. That's a close range punch. A few other things when you're really 45 degrees, you want to make sure that you definitely jump up and you don't keep yourself loaded like a spring, but when you go down to jump, never jump up. Like here, going like this. As soon as you jump up, I can't keep pushing. You can punch repeatedly like this. As soon as you up with it, I have to wait for myself to come down.
So that you don't.
It's not Mortal Kombat, so
And then after that, we can start
ripping
getting
your head off, right? It's a short
Do you want us to get some before? Like just to get the movement down?
Yeah, just to get to movement. Yeah, first you can. Yeah. Like in the end, we can start taking it. Up to you though, up to whatever you guys do. Okay. Let's just do a cross into this. Whoever wants to go first. No, actually, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. I can just like change. Who wants to go first? So yeah, we'll go across to this. Alright, so don't miss the target. Try and fire your hips. You want to make sure that when you're getting, you're really extremely across. You don't want to just get halfway because then you're limiting your power. You really want to explode and come back. Nice. Nice. One more.
You want to track quickly, stay on guard. You also want to have a extension.
Yes.
Probe and take.
Very good. Feel pretty good? Yeah.
You want to make sure that
Stay on the ball right now. Don't leave. Full extension. You got that? You want to be in the middle of your foot. Yeah. Back foot's definitely balls. So
That's gonna be right. I like to go.
that's actually a great.
Nice. This one is more for fun. Just trying to get after it, leave it on our arms.
You can even do use left shoulder to like rotate your cross. You really right there. You're not spinning around.
Might take a little bit of time. Going right here.
Yeah, and just going straight through. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, can we do like one at a time, David? Because I think I'm too focused on going fast.
Oh yeah, just work on.
All right, we're gonna rotate groups. Move clockwise. One group will do the next punch.
So you guys.
Yeah. Great work.
Better?
That's good.
Thanks, David. All right. How was that?
Alright. You guys just uppercuts? Okay. So, kind of same thing with crosses. We're going to start off with that athletic stance again. Again, shoulder up, chin down, front arm in front to protect yourself. Big thing with the cross, staying in athletic stance, then it's going to start from the base of your chin. So what you're going to want to do is preload your hips a little bit. So you're going to want to still be facing your shoulder in front, but preload your hips a little bit. Punch out, making sure that you still pronate with the front two knuckles, and then retract really quick. A lot of times people will punch, and keep themselves out there, which leaves you exposed to more punches. So you're going to want to punch and retract. Same thing, tailor with the skewer. Make sure that you're rotating. The common mistake with the cross is leaning too far forward. You're going to generate the most force if you just rotate around that skewer. So let's just do some dry punches and just try and get that form down.
Really, you never go out in front of your foot. If you're hitting an upper, if you're trying to hit an uppercut out here, that's funny.
So we'll start off light on intensity, and then we'll kind of scale up and have more fun.
Okay, right here.
Alright. Wants to start?
That's like open up a bucket. Oh my god, it's so
Alright, so that's good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm just scared.
Ooh, there you go. Nice.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's my primitive club.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Grant.
Nice.
So, like, under.
Looks pretty good.
Oh my god.
Oh, Travis got some punch.
He's got the lumberjack arms.
Alright. Now we can pick up the intensity. Yeah. Just not too hard. Not too hard. We'll do 3. So we'll all go through 3.
Full extension. You want to actually get your elbow out full. Rotate the hips. Yes. Next up. Very good. That's pretty good. All right. So, that's another quick retraction. Slide it. You want to fist backwards. You don't deliver something slow.
Make sure when you're doing your steps, always move. Because you feel like look like you're leaning here.
All right, we're going to rotate one more time counterclockwise.
It's so powerful.
Just kind of one of the most misunderstood punches, but it's obviously very effective. So when you're punching the uppercut, the key thing is it's not long, because you're not trying to come up with that arm. You want to stay loaded, so if you're going to jump up, go down. It's right. You never leave your loaded spring position. So your arm, you want your palm facing you the whole time, and it's a short track right there. You're lifting up the butt.
So from there, we're going to want to just focus on that skewer.
When you're
Go right down to our midline. Rotate around the midline. Put out the cigarette. Look at that foot.
you want your hand to end up right back right here, so you can block
Pull and
it.
rotate to get all the power into your cross. And then another thing too is you don't want to.
If you jump up too much, you're not going to be able to get the speed.
Let's just go through some little dry punches and then we'll go like that. And then that. You know what I'm trying? You always want your shoulder to be facing the
Walk the bug.
rotate the other. Nice. Yeah, it just. Yeah. Kind of like a baseball thing. If you watch a baseball player hit, they usually finish like this. It's kind of the same thing. You're just doing a quick little rotation point and then point. Yeah, you kind of want to. All right.
We're going to go for a series of 5.
You never want to strap up. So
So we're stepping as we
Start out with we'll do 3.
Chin tuck, shoulders high. You throw full extension. Yes. Don't reach, full extension.
Body.
Don't reach. Face face.